If you could take one guy to an island with you and you knew you'd be safe because he was the best man, he was going to keep you happy, if it was between me and your father, who would you take?
My daddy.
I think you're wrong about that.
Well, as it turns out, if any movie came out of this year's Sundance Film Festival last January with the potential to go all the way in the awards race a year later, it would be Manchester by the Sea, the latest film from writer and director Kenneth Lonergan, who was responsible for a terrific movie called You Can Count on Me, and another one, a very ambitious film called Margaret, that was caught up for years before finally being released. That was not a pleasant experience for Lonergan, but it's good to know that it hasn't affected his creative prowess here, because Manchester by the Sea, which examines the effect of a horrendous family tragedy on the inhabitants of a small New England fishing village.
So that's Lee Chandler.
I don't understand.
Which part are you having trouble with?
Well, I can't be his guardian. I'm just a backup.
This is the best work ever from this fine director, who has also had the good fortune to gather a really impressive cast here, working also at the top of their game. Now, this is a movie that actually feels more theatrical in tone, like it would be on a Broadway stage or something, akin to what Arthur Miller may have written, or William Inge. This really digs deep down into these characters, and at 2 hours and 17 minutes, it is a bit over long. It could have taken some shortening, but I do understand the urge of the writer-director here to put all this together, because it is an experience you soak up completely.
Well, you know, he can always stay with us if he wants to come up weekends.
Do you want to be his guardian?
It's tough to describe the plot because it unfolds in a unique structure, sort of like a puzzle. You're not really sure what is going on specifically with these characters at any given time, because it flits back and forward and back and all over the place. So we're trying to figure out what's going on, but it opens with Lee, played magnificently here by Casey Affleck. But eventually the pieces unfold, and the picture becomes a lot clearer of what has happened in this man's life. And it is an unspeakable thing that we see. I don't really want to give away too much, except to say that he is involved, as we see, in a very happy marriage with children. There is a relationship with his nephew, Patrick, that happens, and that comes in and out. And eventually, more or less at the hour point in this film, things come into full view, and that is when you are swept away in this story of these people. And it is blessed by magnificent acting from Casey Affleck, who has the role of his career to date. There's no question about it.
I don't want to talk about that
You
right
said he
now.
left you money so you could move.
Yeah, that doesn't mean...
Anyway, what's in Boston? You're a janitor. I gotta maintain our boat now. I work on George's boat 2 days a week. You're a janitor in Quincy. What the hell do you care where you live?
This was a role originally earmarked for Matt Damon, who eventually couldn't do it. I think John Krasinski at one point was going to do it, and that is why they're on the credits as producers or executive producers. It has landed in the lap of Casey Affleck, and whether it's luck or fate, it is certainly one he takes to town with him and delivers a really piercing, gut-wrenching, heartbreaking performance here that is one of the year's best. He's matched, but she doesn't have nearly as many scenes, by Michelle Williams, who plays his original estranged wife, Randy, and she has a killer of a scene with him towards the end of the movie.
Do you actually have sex with these girls?
Well, we don't just play computer games.
The real discovery in this movie, though, is Lucas Hedges. He is a very complex young man, providing a lot of problems, but some of the movie's most interesting scenes are those between Lee and Patrick. And Lucas Hedges is a real find in this role. You might remember him from movies like Grand Budapest Hotel or Moonrise Kingdom, both from Wes Anderson. Well, he has really found the role that should launch a huge career for him. This movie is beautifully made on a very low budget, a very independently made movie. One I highly recommend for discerning adult audiences looking for something to latch onto that you will not forget anytime soon. The praise that it won at Sundance is well worth it. And so is the movie, and I say, go.